Flaming Hot Cheetos because the bag was opened and it had something else in it. Some goofy story that didn't make any sense at all. But the messages between you and Mr. Carney clearly established that you knew what was going on and you were part of this. You were up to your neck in this. Case number 26CR43434, the State of Ohio versus Adrienne Johnson. Ms. Johnson is before the court with her counsel, Mr. Gibbs. Ms. Nicholson, on behalf of the State of Ohio, we're here for sentencing. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nicholson, anything on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, the state did reduce these from a felony of the second degree. This is not Ms. Johnson's first time participating in the conveyance of drugs into a prison. The court is aware of the facts of this case from her co-defendant's trial. She facilitated the transport into the institution of 51 grams of methamphetamine. We did reduce it out of that mandatory time, but we would ask the court to impose a 24-month prison sentence. It's my understanding she has 6 days of jail time credit, and there is a $35 reimbursement to the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
All right, thank you. Anything from probation? Mr. Gibbs?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, the prosecution certainly laid out, and this court is well aware of the facts and charges of this case. I would briefly ask the court to take a closer look at the picture of who the defendant is as a person at this point. Ms. Johnson is 37 years old. She's a local of Cincinnati and grew up in the Mount Healthy area with her parents, 3 sisters, and 1 brother. She used to be a cheerleader and track player. One of her memorable moments from that period of time was graduating early from high school with on the honor roll and actually meeting President George W. Bush in 2006 and receiving the Presidential Awareness Award. I would like to take a moment to note that many of her family members, as she is well aware that she is being incarcerated today, she purposefully requested several of her family members not to attend just to have that be kind of a traumatic thing. That's certainly not a lack of love and connection, and I have received numerous correspondences from a mother, godmother, an aunt, and her son concerning that. I just want to note their absence. Her uncle and father are present. As of 2023, she and her children were actually living in a shelter, and during that difficult time came through, and as of more recently, prior to this case, had obtained a townhome. She has 2 sons, Demarius, which is 16 years old, and Demario, which is 13 years old, who has also been diagnosed with bipolar and ADHD. She helps care for her grandmother, who's 79 with bad kidneys and is a breast cancer survivor. She also helps her niece, Riley, who has severe mental delayment and mental processes. A regular theme that comes through family correspondence is that she's kind of the glue that holds the family together. Being a high school graduate, she has attended 3 semesters of college at the Jefferson Community College in Louisville, studying psychology. Unfortunately, she had to drop out due to a family living arrangement situation change where she was living with a relative which moved. She was planning to start school this August to become a peer advisor. Her current employment, which she just ended as of 3 weeks ago, was full-time as a cashier and runner in the general front house responsibilities at an Arby's. She also works part-time catering with Scott's Barbecue since 2018, showing a continued desire to provide for her family and be employed and be a productive member of society. She deals with a depression diagnosis. There was some significant trauma in her life. Heartbreakingly, in 2008, she gave birth to her daughter, who died in her arms suddenly and from a lung issue. Just 2 weeks ago, her 47-year-old cousin, with whom she was very close, passed away at the age of, again, 47 from a heart attack. And she also deals with severe PCOS, which requires medication to avoid excessive bleeding. She does attend worship at the Truth Temple with her father, and in our discussions, which we've had many leading up to this point, she does show sincere acknowledgement of this situation and significant regret. The greatest regret that she has repeatedly expressed to me is not being able to be there for her 2 boys And she recognizes that that's her fault and that that's not, she's taking full responsibility of that. She would clearly state she's not the person she was 2 years ago when this all occurred. If I could briefly just state from a few of the letters from her grandmother, noting, she'd like to say that she's a person of genuine kindness, compassion, and character, and she's personally witnessed her true remorse. Her son, Demarius, states that his mother always encourages me, gives me advice, and reminds me to keep going. Everything she does comes from a place of love. I truly appreciate the sacrifices she has made to give me the opportunities and help succeed. And then finally, her grandmother states, I'm fully aware of her history, that this is the second time she's facing incarceration and seriousness. I do not take past or present mistakes lightly. However, I'm asking this because I've been firsthand witness to the remarkable, responsible, dedicated woman she's been over these last 9 years, working hard and resiliently for her family. And then finally, from her mother, I hope to provide insight into her character and the effort she's made to build a better life. Since her mistakes, my daughter's worked hard to change the direction of her life. She's secured steady employment, maintained that responsibility, demonstrating reliability and a strong work ethic. She's also established a stable home where she's raising her 2 teenage sons. Providing for them and being a positive presence in their life has been her highest priority. Your Honor, looking at the whole picture of who the defendant is, I believe may lead this court to consider reasonably an appropriate sentence. We respectfully ask the court to consider the 9-month sentence, given all of these factors today.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Ms. Johnson, is there anything you'd like to say?
I just want to say that I'm aware of my actions and I apologize, and I just pray that everything works out the correct way in the justice system today.
Ms. Johnson, I'm a little bit confused because you entered a plea of guilty, but yet in your statement you continued to say that you had no knowledge of taking the substance into the facility.
Yes, sir. I had to talk to my attorney because I was confused on how they was charging me with specific things like intent, and I was just confused because I didn't tell her, to do.
No, but
things.
certainly the messages between you and Mr. Carney clearly established that you were involved and knew what was going on. Did you deny that?
If I could elaborate one case, obviously a large component of the prosecution's case against her is the testimony of the co-conspirator.
Well, I disagree with that. I sat through Mr. Carney's jury trial. I heard Ms. Carney testify at that trial. Mr. Carney came up here and he testified and gave some goofy story that didn't make any sense at all. But the messages between you and Mr. Carney clearly established that you knew what was going on and you were part of this. You were up to your neck in this. And on the other part of that, this is the second time you've done it. I mean, you basically tried to explain this away as you were just giving a friend a ride, an old friend a ride to see her father in prison. She apparently tried to take a substance into the facility. Not apparently, she did. She took it in. I had no knowledge of her doing so. You gave her an old bag of
Flaming hot Cheetos.
Flaming hot Cheetos that clearly was not Flaming Hot Cheetos because the bag was opened and it had something else in it. I mean, I'm just kind of confused. And then there was even, I believe there was a follow-up after she dropped it off in the prison. There was a follow-up call or text between Mr. Carney and her. Wasn't there something?
I know that Miss Carney confirmed that he had, that.
But that was after
the fact. But there were certainly.
So I'm going to give you an opportunity to try to explain those facts away.
No, like I said, he explained everything to me in detail, so I'm not denying anything. Like after that, me and my attorney have talked several times since the PSI, and he went into detail with everything. Like I said, the last attorney didn't explain a lot of stuff. It was some pages that I didn't get in it that he did give me. To show why the charges were filed. And like I said, today I take accountability, and that's all.
All right, anything else you want me to know?
No.
All right, the court's considered the statements made here today, the purposes and the principles of sentencing, the relevant seriousness and recidivism factors. Ms. Johnson, I have to tell you, we have a problem in our in our state, in our country, with people who are incarcerated getting illegal drugs. And this is the number one way that it happens, is that they're brought in from the outside by a family member or a friend through a visit. And it's got to stop. The other problem is that this isn't your first time. You've done this before. You've done this exact same thing before. So while you're having any communication with anyone in the Department of Corrections, I believe that ODRC has you red flagged, so you probably will never be permitted, but that's between you and them. The court does find that a prison is necessary to fulfill the purposes and principles of sentencing, including punishment, deterrence, and protection of the public. So on count one, the court's going to order you to serve 18 months in prison. On count two, the court's going to order you to serve 12 months in prison. And on count four, the court's going to order you to serve 12 months in prison, those to be served concurrent with each other. You have 6 days jail time credit. The court finds that you're indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial sanctions. You are also subject to a discretionary period of post-release control, which means when you are released from prison, the Adult Parole Authority may supervise you for up to 2 years. If you violate those rules of supervision, the Adult Parole Authority may return you to prison for up to 1/2 of the court's original sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer. That time would run consecutive to any additional prison time that you get sentenced to. You do have a right to appeal the court's decision of your sentence to the 12th District Court of Appeals. If you want to appeal, you must file your notice within 30 days of today's date. If you cannot afford an attorney or anything else necessary for your appeal, that can all be provided to you at no cost. There may be opportunities for you to receive up to 1 day per month for participating in certain programs sponsored by the Department of Corrections. At this time, the court is going to revoke your bond and remand you into the custody of the Warren County Sheriff's Office for transport to the Department of Corrections. There is a deputy behind you. All right.
Fines and costs.
Indigent.
Thank you, Your Honor.